foot isn't. There we go. Okay, now, the first step in setting up the unit to run it is to put the feet on it. This does several things. It stabilizes the unit, but it also keeps the electronics out of the water. Remember the venturi that creates the negative flow that sucks the ozone from the UV lamp? You can see where the tube is there, and injects it. That means there's a negative flow, so that if you don't put the feet on it, then that means that this unit, the bottom of this unit, is going to be sitting in water. You see the 4 holes?
Yeah.
The 4 holes are there so that you can create the negative flow to inject the ozone into the unit. So if you don't put the feet on it, you will surely get water on the board. What will happen is, it'll short out or in. Just simply slide it on the inlet. Now notice that there is a little red cap, and when we finish and break your unit down, we'll drain all the water out of it, we'll put the cap on it.
Okay.
Cap goes right there. So water in. Next, we have water out. Right there. Next, we power it. After that, we turn it on. The most difficult part of the whole operation is turning the unit on. There's a switch, a standard rocker switch, but it's under a big rubberized cover that keeps moisture out. So you've got to take your fingertip, and to turn it off, you have to push on the back side of the rocker switch, and you push it and it's off. The most difficult part of the whole operation is turning it on and turning it off. To turn it back on, so it's just a rocker switch, on, off. And you fingertip push it into there. So let's go back over the setup. We put the feet on it. May I see your cell phone?
Sure.
What I often do is I'll get the cell phone right over the bucket, and I'll act like I'm going to drop it in the bucket. And I'll say, what happens if I drop your cell phone in the bucket? They go, that's very small. Right. Now, this is a great little pump. The pump is good for 3,000 hours. At 20 to 25 gallons an hour, that pump's good for 60 to 75,000 gallons of water. That's 3,000 hours like a turbine.
Wow.
It's like a turbine.
Yep.
Okay, now, if I put this back down, this is a self-priming pump, and if we're very patient, it'll reprime. But we've come up with a way to speed that process up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do 2 things right now. I'm going to put this back on there, but I'm going to show you how to burp the baby. The reason I'm going to put the back on now is because I know it's not leaking.
Yeah.
I know we're good.
It's working out.
And I don't want this electronics exposed to possible short or shock or anything. So what we're going to do, just for a moment, John Guest made the most ingenious connections. It's revolutionized. You see this little gray collar? I'm going to push that collar in and pull that.
Yeah.
You see? Now, if I didn't push that collar in, it won't come out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you'll just rip the whole thing out. It's not a big deal. You just plug it all back in. But the way to release it
take out the air
is look, you push that collar down and you pull it. I want you to do it, Pastor, if you would. Try to pull it first. Okay. You're going to get your glasses on. I understand that. I know how that works. Now, I want you can actually do it with one thumb. You can put one thumb and hold it down and then pull it. You see that?
Yeah, easy.
Okay. It really is easy.
Everything air outside.
Yes. Now, you also have this. Look. Okay. You see? That's very easy. So that's how we burp the baby. We burp the baby. Now sometimes these modules have been sitting in a warehouse for some time, and that pressure switch sticks. That's what happened to that other one over there. When the light would not turn off, the pressure switch stuck. That's all it was. So I can take care of that later. So what we've gone through here is we've gone through the setup. The first thing we do is what? When we go to set it up?
Feet.
Put the feet on. Otherwise, I'll drop your cell phone in the water.
A joke.
And then what's the next step?
Water in.
Water in. Got to get water in. The next step?
Water out.
Yep. Next step?
Power.
And the next step?
Turn it on.
Push that button. Why don't you push the button Now we turn it off. Hand me, if you would, that little yellow case inside of the black case. No, on this
This
side.
one over here.
Yeah, right there. Very good. And I need to put a little bit of Velcro here too, which I'll do. Inside this case is everything you can need to run this unit for years. For example, I'll give you one little bitty story. I was in Pakistan. Pakistan's a very dangerous place. They blow up foreigners. It's very serious. So I'm in Pakistan, and people are very thankful that we're there. We are in a, this is what we'll tell them. Keep the electronics out of water, burp the baby, clean the filter. That's the simplicity and the beauty. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how to clean the filter. All right? Quite simple. We turn the unit off, and all we're going to need to do, we also will unplug it. And I'm just going to get these out of the way, just for demonstration purposes, just so we're not mucking with them in the way. Now we're going to clean the filter. Typically, to clean the filter, it only takes like 2 or 3 minutes to clean the filter. That's the beauty of it. We're only going to take this one leg off. Now sometimes that's tight.
Special.
If it's tight, that's what we have in each case. Tool. I'm going to demonstrate the cleaning of the filter now. And by the way, I've got full written instructions that explains everything, with pictures and everything. Okay? Now, O-ring.
Yeah.
O-ring.
Always.
What happens if you lose the O-ring?
Leaks. Got another one.
Excellent.
I mean, we really take good care of you in it. Now, in order to clean the filter, what we do is we unscrew it. One of the biggest problems we have with this is they cross-thread it. They'll cross-thread it.
The water.
What I tell them
But
is, well, what I'll tell them, and to avoid cross-threading it, is I'll say, if the filter is difficult to screw in, stop and start over. When it's easy, it's good.
Yeah.
Now look at that big fat O-ring. See that big fat O-ring? That's a big fat O-ring. You do not have to over tighten this filter. All you do is you bring it up, snug it up. And I explain that in very clear Creole when I explain how to do it. Now, we aren't going to clean this right now, but I'm going to show you right here. If you look, you'll actually see dirt. You'll see dirt forming. What will happen is this filter will become very dirty, and it'll become dark brown. That's when you know to clean it. What do we clean it with? Scotch-Brite scrubbing. Common globally. Around the world, you'll find them everywhere. You'll find them in Brazil, you'll find them in the jungles of anywhere. You'll find these little scrubbies. And then all you do to clean it is, I'm just demonstrating here, is you don't press it hard, you just go around it, and you'll literally see it go from brown to white. Don't scrub it because the filter won't last as long. Now this filter is made by Dalton. Dalton's been making these ceramic filters since 1890. So for 24 years they've been making this filter. You think it works? They wouldn't be selling them for 124 years if it didn't work. Now the process is ceramic filtration developed by the Egyptians 4,000 years ago. So all we do is we clean it and it'll become white. I include gloves in here, but the Haitians won't use gloves. I have hand sanitizer. So after we finish, I just put a little hand sanitizer on me and I'm good to go. Now, yeah, this is ceramic. It's very thick. And how do you know when this is no longer usable? It'll get about that big around. It'll become very thin, but it's still working. It's that great big O-ring, You see how easy it is. You know it's not cross-threaded. And then all you do is you snug her up, you bring her up, and you snug it. You know, on an oil filter, it says do not over-tighten. On an oil filter, when you change your oil, same thing here. Do not over-tighten. So all you do is you snug it and you go, good. That's all you need to do. Now we'll take our ceramic. I think the best way to see it, right in here, right in this section, there's a venturi. The venturi is just that. It goes down just like a venturi on the side of an airplane
Yep.
back in the old days. Exactly the same thing. That venturi, the hole is 5/64 of an inch. Very small. What happens in Haiti and other countries like that, you can put that over there. What happens is calcium of it. Okay? We're going to take this little red clip and we're going to pull that clip off. We're going to depress that and we're going to take this blue hose off of the T. So we'll depress it and we'll pull. Now we've got the T here. We're going to take that plug and we're going to put that plug into the top. So that now, let me show you. Paint a coffee pot with white vinegar. Do you know why? It gets the calcium out. So either white vinegar or CLR. So what we're going to do, I'm simulating it now, we'll drain the water out of here, and then we'll put either white vinegar or CLR in the bottom up to about this level. So now we've got that CLR working on that venturi from this direction. Then we remove this plug, and I'll just do it just to kind of demonstrate to you the way it happens. Now normally this would be plugged up, meaning that when I inject, all the flow will go back through the venturi that way. Now I'm just going to show you, it's not going to be nearly as effective because I didn't pull that off, but you'll see. But when I plug that up, the full force of that syringe pushes that CLR through, breaking up the calcium, clearing up the inside. And that way we're able to do a 20-step process without ever
Connecting to the battery, right?
Oh yes. Right here, cigarette lighter, plus, red to red, right here. And then that goes to a cigarette lighter, which you have there.
Okay.
And then if you don't have a cigarette lighter, yeah. There it is. So this is your 12 volts. Black to black, red to red. Now what happens if you put red to black and black to red? On this, nothing. We designed the switching board ourselves to protect it. It's got shunts that stop it, and it won't let it short out on you. So this is your 12 volt, and that's your additional.
Oh, it's connected.
Yeah, yeah. In that way,
And that goes straight to the battery.
yeah. In that way, you've got your battery here.